Internet! Welcome to 2.5 Brains, our weekly show talking all about the latest episode of Survivor. You go ahead and subscribe to the channel right below there so you get all the updates. You don't miss anything all week. Anything we do, anything we bring out. This one's actually happening right after the episode finally had it where it was able to work out that way. You can tweet me directly, you'll grab a Gabba, and you can like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Pavement Productions, and email the show pavementproductions@gmail.com. I'm here, Bailey's here, only one other element of our 2.5 Brains missing, and that is, of course, Jessica. Jessica, come on in. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, how do people find you on Twitter?
Just T820.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say it for you, but I figured I'd let you do it. There's a joke in there about women speaking, but I will leave that alone. No Shave November.
I'm forcing you to do it. Not really that much of a choice.
Not my choice.
Looks good on you.
Sure. So.
Grizzly Adams, ready for winter.
Yeah, it's cold here, so it sounds good.
Good thing I jacked up the heat to 72.
What? We're going to have to have an argument off air about the heat. But, anyways.
I'm cold.
That's great. I'm always warm. I'm warm right now. That's why. So, I have to make sure off during the show. And then there goes all the viewers. Right, Bailey?
Hey.
You're a star. Hi, Bailey. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in here. This episode was pretty crazy. We're glad we have to talk about it right after because I have a lot to say. I'm sure.
Great.
I'm sure you do, but I'm sure you'll keep me on track.
I'm good to say what I want to say.
Of course you will. There's a lot that happened though, so we definitely want to dive into it and not waste too much time. Make sure you subscribe, share the video, comment on the post, let us know what you think. We want your feedback. So like I said, you email the show if you can give your feedback, and comment away and let us know what your thoughts are. So let's start as we always do with the 3 moments that mattered. There's a lot of moments that mattered this episode. How to keep it just at 3. We could have had 3 moments just in the tribal council.
Right.
But let's do what we have to do. 3 moments that mattered. Start with moment number 1, and that is what?
Janet's island decision.
Yeah. So Janet was on the island and made a decision. Tell me about that.
And she decided not to play the game. She could have won an advantage to not be voted out at the next tribal. She would have been able to walk and leave, and they wouldn't be able to vote her out. But she, in turn, I guess, wouldn't have been able to vote as well.
Right.
She actually thought about it. She sat there. She debated, pro and con lists right in front of Rob and Sandra, and they were impressed that she put that much thought into it that no one else had, and made probably the right decision to not play and not try for that advantage at all.
Yeah, so this was something that actually, this advantage was something we've talked about before. If anybody read my fanfic, I wrote about that too, there being a Survivor Tribal Council escape hatch, where you just escape from Tribal Council. You don't get to vote, but you also can't be voted out. Mm-hmm. So I've thought about that before. That's been something I've heard way before I wrote about it, which is a cool idea. They're actually bringing it in. They have to listen to all the podcasts, the producers, and they can hear stuff that they end up doing. But what do you think about her decision? They said it was the right decision.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, first of all, inquiring minds, I would like to know what was the, challenge going to be. Because they didn't even mention what she would have had to do.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I wonder if she could have asked what it was and then went from there, because they just kind of gave her a choice. Like, if you do this, this is what you'll get. They didn't tell her what she had to do, unlike everybody else. They did say there was a game, and they're just let's go. But she didn't know what she was turning down anyways, but I do think she made the right decision, because how can you leave tribal and everybody's going to be like, well, how the heck did she get that, I guess. Every time you have an idol, it puts a target on your back when it's played right, so I think she made the right decision.
I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I think she made the right decision.
Do you want to put the devil horns on from Halloween?
Time for some devil's advocate. Oh, and they light up. Oh, that's awesome.
That battery is kind of dead.
Just keep smacking it really hard.
There you go.
There you go.
Stone.
Devil's advocate.
Those are really old.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, another glowing and flashing. Isn't that neat?
Got them from Darien Lake back in high school.
Wow. So, I think she made the right decision. I will say that.
Yes.
I feel like it was a game of chance or something. Like it was gonna be like a pick a
Right.
marble, and if it's right, you win. If it's wrong, you lose. Whatever.
Right. I mean, he told her Rob told her that her challenge was it was a game of like chances or decisions or something, like basically what the whole tribe or the whole show was before she went there was like pro and con, like what should you do, make the right move.
So, but I think what you could have done, there's another option for it. If she would have played it and won, she could have turned it into a positive. If you're thinking ahead, right? So, for example, if
That's what I was thinking ahead.
Right, but what I'm saying is if she gets this thing where she is thinking about I have to leave tribal council and I'm safe in the vote. Mm-hmm. It's probably the wrong decision because you want to be able to vote, and she's in a spot where her vote's going to matter more than being safe.
Right.
Like her decision to cast a vote for somebody means more than her being safe at this point because she has that agency in the game. She is a vote. She is in an alliance. She's not the number one player in the game by any means, but her vote means more than an idol at this point.
Right. Yeah.
So the risk is not worth the reward in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say she does win, and now she has this, escape from tribal council thing.
Mm-hmm.
What she could do is the Devin Pinto thing, what he did in season 35, when he opened the advantage, pretending she was just reading for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Open it and say, "You will now leave tribal council," and not vote.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, "Oh, this is bad," and play off like she's really upset about it, and then leave, and then people will be like, "Oh my god, that just screwed everything up."
Right.
And it could be like, Devin, this is not an advantage. When, somebody played it, you should make it as if somebody played it on her.
Yeah. And
you're trying to, block her vote and kick her out of tribal.
Right.
So she could have done it that way if that was the way it worked out. But I think, so in other words, if somebody who's in a different spot than her, mm-hmm. who needs maybe an idol or needs to escape from tribal council, that's how they could have played it. But her case, being able to vote outweighs being safe, I think.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think she made their decision.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Nah, I think that's all, folks.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
Exactly.
Jessica killing me today.
I'm sorry.
Moment number 2 that mattered is what?
Giggity. Game of inches.
So mature, Jessica. So mature.
Shut up. You're the one that laughs at all the dumb stuff.
She loves me.
I do love him.
She's talking about you.
Bailey.
She loves you.
I love you. Oh, good boy. You go for walk. You go for what? You want a bone?
You want Mama to stop teasing you?
A tweet? A bone?
You want Mama to stop teasing you? Okay. Game of Inches.
Game of Inches.
What was that referring to?
The title's a little off, but it's I guess Game of Inches because in the advantage or in the individual, not individual. Wow. Oh my god, I can't talk right now. Tribal.
Yes.
Not even tribal.
Tribal immunity.
Tribal immunity, yeah. Oh my god. Jamal was just off by a couple of inches moving the tile. He should have fully picked up the tile and replaced it down instead of trying to kick it into place because it was wedged and it was the last piece and they almost had it and they almost won. It was going pretty crazy. I thought they had it.
Yeah, they were down. They came back. They were actually maybe leading at one point. It was so close.
Yeah.
It was one of the closest. I mean, I know it's all edited and whatever.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was genuinely one of the closest challenges I've seen in a long time.
It was pretty damn close. Purple. I'd never remember the names. I can only buy colors at this point.
Vokai and Lyra.
Vokai's purple. Vokai violet. Got it.
Yes.
Purple.
Lyra losers.
Right.
L.
Yeah, I know.
Orange.
I mean, Lauren's screaming her head off at everybody for the damn tiles.
Yeah.
And even Tommy's screaming, like, all right, guys, I understand. They're just, obviously stressed because they're in a bad place now.
It was literally the one tile was like that. If it went like that, they won. So it was like that. All they do is get it like that.
What extremely kills me is because they had a good probably 20 seconds to pick the tile up and replace it before Vokai even moved their other tiles and put it into place because they had to pick one up again
And then they'd move
and
two around
rotate
the other
it.
side.
I know, but even after they moved them, they
Right.
had to pick one up and rotate it again.
Right.
So,
Right.
you could have had it. You gotta put it in effort. Don't do it the lazy way. Just get in there and do it because you guys were so close. And it was Jamal's fault, okay? For once. Now, nobody wasn't pointing fingers at Krishma because it's always Krishma's fault when she's involved with something. But you know what?
It was.
Defend my girl.
Right. Yeah, your winner pick. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, mine's not much better. So.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because he was. It really seemed like that, though, right? It really seemed like all he had to do was get down low and push it instead of trying to kick it. It seemed like he's a strong enough dude. I feel like he could have got low, used his upper body strength, and pushed it into place before they moved the tiles around, and they would have won.
They couldn't have pushed it. He definitely had to pick it up just because of how thick the tiles were.
Sure.
If it was thinner, you might have been able to slide it into place, but the way it was wedged in there, all you had to do was pick it up and slide it in differently. And they had enough time to do that. It just didn't happen.
Regardless, I feel like he could have the strength to do that himself without needing help.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to kick it or use his foot, I think if he would have gotten low and just, kind of done that,
shoved it up and then pushed it back down.
Exactly.
Like something. But he could have done it.
I think so too. And it was, and it came right down to it. I'm like, oh, Blair was going, nope, okay, no, Blair, no, okay. It was so close.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be a blowout, and then again, they just came back, and we've seen those great Survivor challenges where one team's way ahead, the other comes back and wins. Mm-hmm. This one came right down to it, and it was, at the end, Vokai pulled out again. But man, it was another close challenge. Really, really close.
It was. I don't know what that would have done if Vokai went back. That would have been crazy, but
yeah, it would have been real crazy.
Still was just as crazy with Lyro. So
yeah, they were talking all about it too. I mean, they were talking about it. They're going, who should we target? I've been interested to see who. I thought Lyro should have thrown it so that way they would have had the control. But it worked out kind of in Lyro's favor. Anyways, we'll talk about it a little later on. Mm-hmm. So, anything else you want to go on the third moment?
Let's go to the third moment, which is basically the segue into the third moment.
Correct. And there was a lot that happened in this moment, but third moment...
Combine this moment into one instead of nitpicking everything else that was in there. So number 3 is all-time tribal, because holy crap, what a tribal.
It was. It was like you said, they gave a lot of time for it. I mean, it was, almost, a whole 15 minutes almost.
I mean, the challenge was at like 8:22.
Yeah.
So then after that, they went to their island. That was probably 20 minutes or so of the show, 15 minutes, and then the last 20 minutes of the show is just tribal.
Yeah.
It's a lot for tribal, but it was needed.
A lot happened. So, all-time tribal, I mean, we were saying off air before we started recording, I don't think it was a top 5, greatest tribal council of all time. There's untouchable. Kagian, Merge, Tribal, the Tyson voting himself out, Tribal, Poverty, Suicidal, Tribal. Those are, the top 3 on everybody's list, really. Mm-hmm. But this one was certainly one of the best ones we've seen in a couple years. Definitely since, definitely better than anything we saw last year. Last year had some really good ones too, but this one was up there. It has so much going on. It had actual important conversations. It had stuff seemed like it was live. They had shocking moments, a shocking outcome.
New bonds
made, bonds maybe severed. It was quite an interesting tribal council. What do you want to kind of pick at with that first? What kind of want to talk about?
I'm trying to think of it in order. I guess start with, there's a very deep conversation about, why does everybody talk about Women's Alliance? Why is that a thing?
Sure.
Why is it such a big thing to point out? The women are going to align and they're just going to pick all the men off. But if you flip it around, nobody talks about there being huge guy alliances. You know,
Right.
all the guys are always aligning. Like, most of the time, most of the guys are aligned. I see more often than not that than, I guess, one guy crossing over to be in an alliance with all the girls.
Absolutely.
So,
and they say that women's alliances are kind of a figment of people's imagination. They're
Right.
manifested from paranoia.
I mean, Kelly's whole thing when she went off about it was that. And, you know, I love Janet's comments. I said to you too, I'm like, I really love the older generations because they see things so much differently. They've seen so much more than we have. And, you know, I don't want to make this political because a lot of this can get political,
Okay.
this whole conversation.
Sure.
But I love the older generation because they get to see things that we haven't and won't, good and bad. But, you know, the whole conversation about women too kind of drove me crazy when Jamal said, you know, I love this, that women are, you know, you women are like, can sit here and talk about your opinions and feelings. It's like, but stop pointing out they're women.
I'm putting them in a box.
Like, okay, they're women, so do you just expect them to cook and clean and be in the kitchen all the time?
Of course not.
Oh, isn't the comment, get in the kitchen where I belong?
No. What made you say that?
You're a joke. But, I mean, that's how I feel like not most, but there are a lot of people out there, guys, that feel like women are just, you know, what they do, not who they are, not their opinions, anything like that.
And I think and I think the last 2 weeks kind of pointed to, at least, I guess I can say, at least my view on society, and maybe I'm in a minority here, but I feel like people are people.
Yeah.
You know, women, men, gay, straight, black, white, blue, purple, orange.
Right.
All that. People are people. And to say that all white, straight men are like this, all gay, black women are like this, all whatever,
Right.
that's just a stereotype, and that's not helping the conversation. Look at each person individually, and then make a judgment on that person.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about last week the conversation that happened between Jack and Jamal, and you know, that's another thing. That would be another getting towards a political conversation, but it's everybody isn't their stereotype.
Right.
Everybody shouldn't be looked at because of their stereotype.
Right.
And you know, I just don't want to. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Like, you don't want to start a fight over things, but everybody's a person. Everyone has their own feelings, their own opinions, and just because someone feels one way doesn't mean you have to agree or disagree. Like, I mean, you can disagree with them, and they can have their opinion. You can have yours.
And you can still love that person.
Right.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't. People's opinions shouldn't have to divide them.
Absolutely not. And you know, everybody, and it's, you know, they're talking about stereotypes. Everybody sees stereotypes. You can't go through the world and not see.
Because you can accuse someone of stereotyping you, but then you're stereotyping them back for what they're saying about you.
Exactly.
So
every person is different, and you can't judge them on what you've seen in the past.
Right.
You have to look at them and get inside and find out what they're actually like.
Everyone love each other, be nice to each other. Like, it's really not that hard.
Right. For sure. So to get back to our silly show about Survivor. After that, on that note,
I mean, that was part of the show anyway.
Right. So it comes down to it, and the one thing I want to mention is how Jamal did what Dan Rangering did, the SWAT cop on season 37. It was to the T exactly. With a couple of the photos being a little bit slightly different, but somebody he doesn't really like or care for, he wastes his idol on, and then loses his top ally. Dan did that.
Yeah.
He played the idol on Angelina. He didn't like Angelina at all. He played the idol on her and lost John. In this case, Jamal doesn't like Nora, but plays the idol on her as a probably goodwill gesture or whatever.
Branch. Yeah.
And then loses his number one ally, Jack.
Well, especially because the conversation started where Jamal asked Nora if she ever thought about voting him out. And she said yes. I mean, he did the same to her, though. I really wish the conversation, at least, that would have been thrown back both ways, because it was always like, well, you were going to do this. And the conversation should be, but you were going to do the same thing, so how does that make you different than me?
So I think I love 37. I remember that season when Mike White, they asked him a question, and he goes, wait, people are lying in this game?
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's like, come on.
Exactly.
Everybody's lying to everybody. Everybody's snowing
Right.
everybody. Everybody's playing the game. If you're not, you're not. If you're not lying, you're not playing.
It's like I understand feelings will get hurt, but try not to act so hurt about it because it is a game, and
that's
like
what Jack
everybody said, it's a game. Like you can still be friends, and you're gonna have to stab somebody because either you want to win or you're gonna be nice and bow out and let someone you like win.
Right.
But nobody's gonna do that when there's money on the line
Right.
like that.
And
you're not on that show just to make friends.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's so true. And I think that was a big moment here too, is that he he plays the idol for Jamal plays the idol for Nora. It's kind of said the olive branch, like you said, that
Saying, like,
peace
well,
offering.
Maybe we're not so different after all, kind of thing. After this entire conversation that they just all had,
And it's interesting too. Nora's been very honest the whole game. She did lie to Dean, but her and Dean actually worked together on this. But she said she'd rather hate somebody than have no opinion of them. And I'm the same way. I'd rather be loved or hated than have something be relevant. And that's because at least if you hate somebody, you care enough to hate them, right?
Well, yeah, that they did something of relevance to.
Right. So and that's kind of where that was. So all this, Kelly sneaks out to Dean at camp, so nobody knows he has it. He sends it and plays it. Kelly looks shocked. Everybody looks shocked.
Yeah.
Kelly's voted for him still as a cover for herself.
Yep.
And then Jamal stands up. And I'm like, oh my god, Jamal's playing the idol. All the there were the two main votes were going to be either Dean or Jamal. They're both going to playing idols. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then Jamal plays for Nora. I'm like, whoa, he just voted himself out by playing for Nora instead of himself. He didn't need to play for. I didn't think he was going to play at all. I thought he was going to go home with it in his pocket. Now he's playing it, and he's playing for Nora, and he's getting voted out because he played for Nora instead of himself, and it was Jack.
Yep.
Holy heck.
Well, Kelly did mention earlier that Jack is, she trusts Jack, she doesn't trust Jamal, but Jack has a better chance because he's more social, people like him, he's got ties on the other side.
True. And so, they took out the better player. Now, Jack may have said he was on the jury. I didn't hear that. I was too shocked by what was happening.
But it sounded like he said, but who knows?
I don't know. So I would love to be I'm interested if anybody knows. Share in the comments or whatever, tweet me. Because I find it hard to believe they would just keep that in the video if it wasn't true in his final words.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of final words that don't make it through or whatever. But I didn't hear Jeff say first member of jury or anything. I didn't hear that because I was too shocked that Jack was going to vote out.
He didn't say anything like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But either way, off to the pre-merge for him then. And that leaves us now, by the way, with 8 women and 5 men in the game. I can't remember the last time there was that many women compared to that many men.
Well, Sandra did say there's definitely going to be a woman winner.
And she told Rob to give her 2-1 odds on that, and Rob said, "I'm not an idiot. I'm not taking that bet because he knows."
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the men left in the game who have a shot to win, who? Aaron?
Maybe
Dean?
Yeah,
I don't really think Dean though. You think he's? I mean, I don't think he's gonna make that far.
Guys left, Tommy or Aaron.
That's it.
About it. There's also only been one male to visit the Island of the Idols, and that was Vince, and he's gone.
Yep.
So, versus the women that have visited, they're all still there.
And they didn't pick a name that we saw, so maybe no Island Idol, or maybe we're doing something different next week. Or there's when they put their buffs on, there's a random one with invitation to Island Idol. Maybe who knows? We'll see how they do it.
Or it's just the boat shows up and they have to pick a name like they've done before.
Yeah, could be too, definitely. So those are the 3 moments that mattered. That travel was a lot to it. We're going to unpack a little bit more of it as we go along here. Talk about it a little bit more if we get through. But let's go ahead and talk about who didn't survive this week. The player who lost.
Survived. Jack.
Yeah.
As to no fault of his own, really.
Really, yeah.
He didn't really do anything wrong to get himself there. He just was a good player, had good ties. Kind of was not suicide, but a sacrifice.
Yeah, it was interesting. He said when he had voted, he said most people didn't vote for me today. And it's true. He only had 2 votes. He had voted out in a 7-person tribe with 2 votes.
But Callie convinced Nora that it was her name on the chopping block and she had to vote Jack to keep herself safe, which worked. And Callie was giving Dean her idol, so I didn't see Dean flipping on Callie to vote for her.
No, because that's the only one he has left.
He's going to go with what he was told.
Because that's the only option he has left. So what did Jack lost for a reason. It was not a lot he could have done, but he did lose for a reason. What was his mistakes? Can you
Being
point out
a
anything?
strong player, having good ties, having ties to people on the other tribes. So once they merge next week, and just that he is a strong player, he is sociable. He would have made it far, and it's not like wasn't terrible at any kind of challenges. And now next it's going to be individual immunity. Wasn't going to do. There was people worse than him, let's say.
Certainly.
So it's just that he was good at what he was doing.
It's one of those things where, and Jeff's talked about in the past, being good at something makes it. Being good at something is an asset until it becomes a hindrance for your game, right? If you're great at challenge, if you're the best challenge competitor of all time, Joe, you're beloved in the tribal game, and you're hated in the individual game.
Right.
And it's what's good for one time is until it's you have something that is a benefit until it's not a benefit anymore.
It was a smart move though, because now with individual immunity, Jamal wasn't liked and they didn't want to bring him further, but I don't feel he's going to do that well in individual immunity. He's going to do better than others, but I don't know, if he would be top on who's going to be in there.
Right.
Jack was more of a threat, and it's smarter now. They're playing the game so fast from the beginning to get rid of one of the stronger players earlier before the merge. Because once this happens, all hell breaks loose, and then you have no idea who's going to go, and it's a lot harder to get rid of stronger threats depending on their ties.
Right.
So
those two little tiny side notes. I agree with everything you said. He was basically not terrible. He was good enough at everything to make him a threat. He wasn't. He was too much of a threat, but he wasn't an overt threat. He was.
Yeah.
He was.
He wasn't irrelevant.
He wasn't irrelevant. He wasn't, disliked. He was liked enough. He was good enough at challenges. He was, strategic enough that, in a weird situation where there's going to be one or two people, who just only a couple votes. It only takes a couple votes. From Kelly's perspective, well, she wants Dean to stay in the game. So it's between Jamal and Jack's bigger threat. It was basically option A or option B.
Yep.
Option A is a bigger threat than option B, so it's option A.
Right.
That's all there is to it. He didn't really do anything that was bad. He just aligned with somebody who was less liked and not as good in challenges necessarily, which normally means that you're going to do well, but it's a benefit for you until it's not.
Right.
And if sometimes you can survive that vote and regroup, but in this case, he couldn't. He got out of the game, and it is what it is. He got outmaneuvered for sure. Side note: first time in 10 seasons they haven't had at least 3 tribes at some point in the season, so that's very interesting. So that's just a little side note. I want to talk about there as well, but that's. I feel like there's something else I want to mention too, but I'll maybe we'll think of it later. But that's fine. So, the other one was 5 members of your team left.
5, yeah.
4 of my team. We've back down to 3.
Yes.
Back down to 3. His winner pick is still going strong with Kelly, and then he's got Tommy, who's
he's on the ropes.
On the ropes a little bit. We'll see. And then who else he's got? He's got This is a bad show. We can't remember.
I don't know. The list is over there.
He's got
Bailey. Can go Bone and Treats.
Dean, obviously.
Oh, Dean, that's right.
So he picked a lot of girls, but there's only 2 dudes left and 1 girl left. So,
Right.
So it's interesting how it turned out that way. So actually, whatever. That doesn't make sense what I just said. But anyways, back up. Edit that out. Okay. So
halftime.
yes, exactly. So I think that's just why Jack lost. That's fine. So let's move on and talk about the top 3 and bottom 3 of the week. Start with the bottom 3, And who was on the bottom three this week, Jessica?
First one is Jamal.
Yeah. So
He screwed up at the challenge. If he would have got the puzzle piece in, they wouldn't have gone. And Jack would have still been there, and he wouldn't have lost his biggest ally.
and an idol.
And an idol. I mean, yeah, his idol.
And the big difference between Kelly's idol and Jamal's idol too, right? Kelly's idol. Jessica's freaking out over here. It's okay.
I don't want to lose the list.
Okay. You want to lose your notes, yeah. Kelly's idol expired at the treble. She had to use theirs, gone. Jamal could have kept his longer.
Correct.
But
he could have a new alliance now because of Nora.
So there's things that he did well this episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's things he's at the merge. You know, Jack was like, "Oh, I'll make the merge. I want to make the merge," and unfortunately, he doesn't get to. There's things he did well. I was almost debating putting him in the top 3, but there's a couple little things that I say. If you look at the stock in the game, his stock went down this week. There's no doubt about it because he lost his number one ally. Maybe he got Nora, but Nora has plenty of other options.
Yeah.
She doesn't need him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but his closest people right now
are gone. Yeah.
He has
Jack the King.
Literally him.
Literally.
He's an ally of one right now. That means he's also a free agent, so he can maybe bounce around alliance and find a home.
Right. The problem with him though is that he doesn't have the attitude of, who wants me. He has the attitude of, well, who's going to change their vote to agree with me because I'm not changing anything about myself. That's not how it works.
Correct.
And another negative from tonight, you may or may not agree, he turned everything into not sexist, but it was about if you're a woman or a male in the game. He started that conversation of so proud of these women that are being able to speak and align together. It's like, but don't do that.
Right. And again, I think it came from a good place.
It did. But it's still, like you're pointing out, it didn't make the women that happy about it.
Well, and like you said, the threat of women's alliance is usually way more powerful than the actual women's alliance itself. Because it's funny, the more you bring it up, the power of suggestion.
Well,
exactly.
Obviously. But, from the beginning, Lyro, they formed a girls' alliance anyways. They already said they wanted girls' alliance. So, when the merge happens, it's going to be harder. All the girls can align and get rid of all the guys, but then what's going to happen from there?
Right.
It's going to go crazy.
No, absolutely.
And all girls on the island together, bananas.
Certainly. And who knows who's the guys. I certainly could see a couple guys going next too. But I think the funny thing that is interesting is, you keep saying girls' alliance. Maybe the girls look at each other. Maybe we should. Everybody keeps accusing us anyways. Might as well do it.
How many did you say was on the island?
8 women left.
Yeah, and how many male?
5.
Okay. I thought you said 3 for a second. I'm like, you're forgetting a couple people.
No, it's 8. Yeah, but I can see.
Listening.
It's fine. I can't say anything.
You just go, and I gotta just zone out for
Story of my life. I think there's gonna be a couple guys next though, so they'll probably be like 83.
Probably.
We'll see.
Probably.
But then again, the previews say that the women are all gonna turn on each other because they're all big threats, and the only ones left in the game that are threats are women.
Yeah.
But how the previews are, they lie.
Right.
So who's the next in the bottom 3, Jessica?
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
Thomas the Train.
Yes, Tommy could be in some trouble. I like how you're laughing at your own joke. It's hilarious.
I'm funny. That was funny.
So Aaron turned on them, got Lauren all upset. Tommy's kind of feeling scorned, and again,
Tommy's feeling targeted.
Right, and he, as you probably should. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's again at the merge. It's all about this group versus that group. Who can you get in a coalition? Who's your, who can you work together with? Those kinds of things. That's Tommy really, again, Tommy's in the same spot as Jamal right now. Mm-hmm. Tommy and Jamal probably could work together, but
who's going to join them?
Right.
Lauren would. I just kind of get amazed at how long people will stick with their old tribe.
Yeah.
And even when the merge happens, who's going to still be like, we're Vokai strong, we're Lyra. I keep wanting to say something else. Lorelai, its name. It's Gilmore Girls, but
Don't know.
like eventually you're not going to be strong with your own alliance. You probably should branch out a little
Flexibility
bit with other
is a
people.
key to this game.
And I mean the flexibility will probably happen though once it's the merge and everybody's all together anyways.
Definitely.
You want to get to the merge. That's what everybody's just doing.
For sure.
That's
Yeah,
what
there's
they
always
do. Whoever's left.
exactly. There's always roadmaps, and the merge is one of the big ones on it. One of the big checkpoints.
And romances and creepy people.
Roadmap. But yeah, no, for sure.
Roadhouse.
Oh god, Jeff, you're tired. You need to go to bed, honey.
No, I'm good. Coffee. Any more coffee?
Okay. You definitely don't. So yeah, so that was Tommy. Again, it's been a shift though. I feel like in recent seasons where the big strong physical threats are targeted, but it's actually not as early because they're not gonna win 10 immunities in a row, right?
Right.
9 immunities in a row, whatever it is.
Yes.
So they, within seemingly recent seasons, 34 was that way, 35 was that way, it's 33 was that way. You take the person who isn't really aligned with anybody and pull them out of the equation,
right?
So that way you can form that way you can have an easy vote first at the merge, and then you have to form your core, your group,
right,
and your army to take on the other side. So we'll see who can. The biggest component is going to be who can gather the most troops for the upcoming war, and who's got the most connections to be able to do that. Whether it's Missy or Elizabeth or Kelly or whoever it ends up being, who has most connections to pull the most troops together and go to war.
Right, with your armies.
My armies in my
your
sleeves.
sleeveys, yes.
Oh goodness!
That's the only thing I could think of.
All right,
you've ruined me with those damn jokes.
Yeah, I know all those jokes.
Stupid dad jokes.
Mm-hmm. So, who else on the bottom three? I'm done with Tommy.
What?
I'm done with Tommy. Who's next?
Dean.
Dean got an idle play for him though, right? Kind of, sort of.
He did. Still on the bottom because he's being saved, I guess.
Yeah, I
mean he's kind of strong. I think bringing him along, it's not going to hurt anybody, but he's not a bad player. No,
I just think he's. I feel like he's one of the people that you can get rid of at any time.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how they're doing it with my winner pick too.
Yeah, but I almost feel like Krishma has built those bonds. I think Dean has a strong bond with Kelly, and that's about it. Yeah.
I mean, he's got his old tribe, but I don't see him vibing again with Elizabeth or Aaron or Missy or any of them.
They tried to get rid of him before, anyways.
They're a little bit. Well, they got rid of Chelsea, right. But I don't see them, staying.
Vokai or
Lyra strong once they go back on the same island together.
Right.
What? How?
So, and it said Kelly's. Kelly's got a lot of troops she can put together and make a nice coalition. The only thing is Dean is kind of like only has her.
Which can help save her, but it's like I'm thinking about it. Yeah, help her, but it's like I think about it more now. Was what she did the right move? You like working with him and everything, but does that really benefit you going forward that much?
It's tough.
It could benefit her, that Jack left, that might benefit her more, so I guess I can see that. But keeping Dean doesn't really seem like it's going to help anybody.
It's tough. It's really kind of depends on what you value. I mean, are you taking out a threat? I think the most important thing in Survivor to do is take out the biggest threats who aren't aligned with you.
Right.
So she left a threat in the game, but it's her threat. As opposed to taking out a threat in the game that was against her, sort of.
He wasn't, though. Jack was with her. So it's like...
So she wanted... it's tough call. She wanted to work with...
In long term?
With Jack. She wanted to work with Jack and Dean, but Dean, she felt like was only in line with her. Mm-hmm. So she wants people who are only loyal to her, which makes sense.
Right. And it's not even what she said, though. She said she wants to keep him because she trusts him. She gets along with him, and she is friends with his ex, and they know a mutual person together. So I hear that, but it's not that it wasn't smart, because Jack's more of a threat than he is, and you want to get rid of some threats before the merge, so... But
And
it's kind of a hit or miss with it.
well, it's kind of
Matter.
right, and it's kind of like what you're saying what on the other side about Tommy, right? If you got Tommy, Lauren's free to work with just them,
Right.
or she's against you. And I feel like that's kind of what she did here. She's like, well, Jack has Jamal. If we take out Jack, Jamal is kind of forced to fall in line with us. And if we take out Dean, Dean has nobody else. Jack has other options.
Right.
So if you take out the people who have the most options other than you, then you're the one who with all the options, all the agency in the game.
Yeah.
The problem becomes if you take out everybody else who has all the connections, it could look like you're the only one who has a connection now. You're that person. So it's a risk that she's taking. I think she made the right move this week. Talk about that in a minute. But it's definitely a risk. There's no. I mean, and every decision has risk, as we learned today on How It Is.
More like an hour, but
We're gonna wrap up here in the next few minutes. So I want to
video cuts out soon, so we gotta talk quicker.
So who's in the? So what's that's the bottom three. Who's in the top three? Who's number three?
Top three. Surprisingly, Nora.
Nora. Why Nora?
She had an idol thrown on for her, so she's probably got a new alliance with Jamal, or
Possibly.
at least, a repaired relationship. And as you keep saying, she's playing the game a little bit more. She is trying, even though no one's taking her serious. I like because she's aligned with charisma, so she's got my girls back a little bit.
Yep.
She's doing better. She's still kind of out of her mind, but she isn't just sitting around.
She doesn't, and she threw Jamal's name out there. I would have liked him, and it's an edited show, so who knows if she did. She might have said, "Screw Jamal, you're voting for me, so I'm voting for you." She might have said that. I bet you they would have showed that if she did. I don't think she's that kind of person. I don't think she's that kind of player.
Yeah.
I don't think she's that good.
She said she likes the strong women alliance thing. Like the idea of that would be cool. So yeah, I believe that. I mean, she's an entrepreneur, so obviously she's going to support women that are trying to do things on their own.
Right, and I don't think she's a good enough player to throw back at Jamal. I think she kind of just let him say his piece, and that was it.
She wears everything on her sleeves, so
for sure. And I wish she would have thrown it back at him. I really do.
I want her to say something. Just every time he accused her of well, were you going to vote for me? But you voted for her. You wanted to vote for her, and you throw her name out there all the time. So why is that different?
Right.
Why is it any different?
So
I can't stand that.
And that's the thing. So, the good news for Nora is she's aligned with Karishma, Kelly, and Janet, and that's a strong four to start with.
Right.
And then we can
all women.
And that's a good starting point for them. And then, honestly, who knows what the other side's going to do? Whatever, where all the pieces are going to end up coming together. But right now, at least she's in a okay spot because she has a decent alliance. Believe it or not, she actually has an alliance.
No one's gunning for her anymore. She's no longer being talked about as the easy vote.
Right. She's in the game at least. She's not the best player. She's not even the top, even controlling anything really. But she's in the game. She's fighting. She has a story to tell. And
she made it to the merge.
And
so
she's
good for her.
And all three of our winner picks made it to the merge. All of our winner picks made it to the merge.
All of our winner picks did make the merge.
So very cool. Who else is in the top three? Who's number 2 in the top 3?
Damn it, Janet. You don't even know what I'm referencing, but it's
Damn it, Janet.
Yeah. You don't know what it's from, do you?
I've heard the phrase.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
It's from the song.
Heard.
But anyways, yes, Janet.
So why is Janet here?
Making smart moves on the island of the idols, not jumping at the chance to play the game. Risk getting herself blown up and risk losing her vote. Contributing to the conversation in the tribal council was huge. Hearing her opinion, stating what she stated, I loved it. She's just making good decisions, and I'm hoping her conversation with Robin, Sandra, has her thinking more down the line, because at first she was just like, well, no, we're doing this because, it's easy, but you got to start thinking big picture. If you're going to keep this person, eventually they're going to overtake you and get rid of you, so it's dog eat dog. You got to get rid of the other person first.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. I'll agree with all that. And she had a good, did well in the conversation to move it forward. She has a little different perspective than everybody else. She can bring something else to the game. I think she's a good ally to have for pretty much anybody in the game. Mm-hmm. She's not the biggest threat. She's not controlling the game. Right. She's not the biggest threat to win it.
She's also the only remaining person left that is not on a team.
Correct.
Of ours.
So, and so there's a lot. I almost picked her too. I was very close. I should have. Yeah. But there's a lot of positives that she brings with not a lot of drawback right now. She's not dominating challenges. She's a good swimmer,
So
but
she's not dead weight, but she's not also leading the pack either. She's in it.
She's right in the middle of things, and that's kind of where you want to be at this point in the game.
Right. Yep.
And finally, for Player of the Week, this week is whom?
Not surprisingly, Miss Kelly.
Kelly Kim.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, after everything we talked about tonight, she played the idol on Dean. She saved one of her alliances, and then someone that she was aligned with, that strong player, was voted out. She's making smart moves. She's in it to win it right now.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's not my pick.
Well, what's funny is, though, right, we talk about it again off air, there's 3 major standouts, and they're always in the top 3, at least one of them, and one of them is almost always number 1 for the week.
Right. And one of them is on
each team.
Yeah.
And do we want to say who they are? Or?
Yeah. Top 3 right now, in your opinion.
Missy.
That we talked about before, yes.
Kelly, and Elizabeth. Woo-hoo. So I think right now one of those 3 have. If you said who's gonna win, you can have three bets. I put all my chips on one of those 3.
All right. One team has more strong players than others.
Certainly.
Not gonna name any names.
Certainly.
But might be someone in this room sitting here. So.
Bailey. It's Bailey.
I mean, Bailey and I are a team, so.
Okay.
Right, Bae? Bone? Tweet? Walk?
Stop teasing the
but
poor
it's
dog.
so cute when he turns his head. Especially he's not even looking. He looks at the back of my head. You can go for a walk. And go for wide. Nope. Treats. Bone.
He's distracted. The heater just kicked down, so he's very distracted.
He's going to look outside.
And there you go. He's watching the house.
Magic.
He's guarding the house.
Yes.
He's quite a big, scary guard dog.
Waiting for the walk that he keeps hearing about that he's not going on.
He's like, where's this walk you're speaking of?
Walk.
With Kelly, I mean, we kind of already talked about her. She's definitely making big decisions. She's
got alliances. She's got stock in the game.
She certainly has plenty of agency. And the thing I like, too, is she, in essence, blocked her own vote today.
Yeah, I know. Voting for Dean after giving him her idol. Wow.
Yeah. So she gave him her idol. It had to be played today.
Yes.
He played it discreetly. She pretended like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Right.
Nora was kind of questioning, like, well, why did he play it last time when he knew he was getting even more votes last time?
But number one, that's a stupid thing because he could have gotten it that day. He could have gotten it the day before. Like, it's kind of a dumb statement to make. You never know when people get the idol.
Yeah. So you never know, and he could have found it. And they're on the islands. People have found them on the islands, not having to go to Island of the Idols to find it. So,
correct.
She's
been there. She knows what the Island of the Idols is.
Yeah. But doesn't necessarily know there are idols hidden on the island.
Correct.
So who knows?
Right.
But
nobody's looked. Since.
It's right, and there's going to be some hidden again. You know that with 2 being played today, especially and there's always been hidden at the merge. So, and the thing that I like too is. Kelly can now has that deniability, like, I voted for everyone, what everybody else voted for, and she did. So she's not even lying about that.
Right, because obviously Dean didn't vote for himself, so they have to figure out who the second person was that voted for Jack.
And I'm sure they could even ask Nora, and Nora would say it was me.
I'm sure they'll come out and say it because they're going to be like, so who voted for Jack?
And if Nora was smart, she would play that really well and be like, oh, well, I had to vote for him to save myself because. I got played. I was screwed.
She said she can claim that she heard her name being thrown around.
Right. So. She won't say that, but she should.
She should if she's smart.
And
we'll see her character next week.
Yes. Kelly did a great job. She controlled the vote. She made a move, was playing under the radar, and she has now, I think, a lot of connections. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I feel like we're setting ourselves up right now for a Missy versus Kelly showdown. And I feel like the winner of that showdown is going to be Elizabeth. But I think they're going to be slinging arrows and she's going to be one going, cool, kill each other. I'll be right here.
Yeah, I hope so. I really like Elizabeth.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Her on my team.
But again, it's my stupid prediction. What the hell do I know? I know nothing. It'll probably be freaking Elizabeth getting voted next week for all I know.
Shut up! Don't even put that out in the ether.
I thought Nora was getting voted this week.
I thought Nora was getting voted out like 3 weeks ago, but it didn't happen.
So
don't say freaking Elizabeth getting voted out.
I hope not either. I like her a lot too. So we'll see. But so far it's been it's setting up to be a really nice finale. Second half.
We still got a lot to go.
Sorry, really exciting second half.
Yeah.
And I think there's
Merge on is gonna be bananas.
Should be. And he said of all the female winners, most of them have worked with women more than men. So we're setting up that way.
Are working together more than the men anyway.
And that's where we're setting up. So I feel like there's 2 dudes left in the game who can win. Mm-hmm. Not Creepy Dan, who's cuddling and weird.
That is another mistake on my tribe, but besides that, everybody's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I encourage myself.
Yeah.
But
Dan doesn't really do much. Dean, he's just too out there he's too overtly a threat.
Well, he's already been in a showman, so he's already done stuff that's gotten him self-targeted.
He's too much of an overt threat to win, I think. And then we got Tommy, who can win. If he gets there, Aaron can win. If he gets there, and then Jamal's not really that light, so I don't see him winning either. Yeah. I think that he's annoyed too many people, and they're not gonna wanna. Nobody's gonna want to sit their neck up for him.
No, but it could be interesting. All the guys could align and maybe get a couple girls, and then just start getting all the girls out, and a guy could win it.
It certainly could. They're gonna have to use that. The biggest women. They have to use the fact that the biggest shots in the game are women right now, and if they can get them to turn on each other for that reason, they have a shot. Shut up! I'm not allowed to misspeak.
It's supposed to be perfect all the time.
I try. So we'll see. There's definitely set up nicely though. Definitely set up for a nice, post-merge game. Yeah. And the merge episode is always pretty crazy, so we'll see.
Everything goes nuts once everybody doesn't have a tribe anymore and it's all together.
And everybody's
all the time.
Free for all.
Free for all.
Going to tribal every episode and all that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Muy interesante.
Very much so. So, other than that, great. Open our bilingual podcast. Other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Then we went way longer than we but we had a lot to talk about in this fun episode.
It always happens when we record right after the episode. Right. Because we have more time to just be like, well, what about this? And then just keep going on and on and on and on. And you on and on and on.
And it was the best episode of the season so far.
It was pretty cool.
That was that power too.
Very interesting.
So if you want to reach out to us, you can tweet me at YoGrabAGabba. You can tweet Jessica at
JessT820. You
can email the show, paperproductions@gmail.com, Facebook.com/paperproductions. Subscribe, share your friends. If you know anybody who watches the Survivor or likes to hear 2 people and a dog talk on the internet.
I can create an Instagram if people want to see pictures of Bailey. I'll put them all on there. He's adorable.
He is adorable.
He is quite adorable.
And you can guess which part of the 2.5 brains he is.
Bailey. Come here. Say goodbye.
So, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Email the show. Tweet us. Facebook.com. YouTube. Comment. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. And let us know that you're watching and tell your friends. We'll definitely looking to have some contests come up here and that's a little bit about subscribers. So if you can get more people to watch and subscribe, might be something in it for you coming up a little bit down the line. Other than that, anything else, Jessica?
I don't think so.
Anything else, Bailey? I know Bailey was Blue's Clues, but that's cool.
Blue's Clues.
Hey, Bailey, what do you want to tell us? We're going to play Blue's Clues for real. Bailey wants to tell us. Maybe next week.
Bailey wants to go for a walk.
Bailey wants to go for a walk. That's what he wants.
He's got to go number 2, right?
He's got
to go.
So, on that note, let's take Bailey outside so he can, be happy. And I know one thing. I've got nothing else for you. So the tribe has. But